I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. You saw that thumbnail. It only means one thing. We're going to talk about some drama. And the segue into this drama is kind of weird. I don't, how do you segue into it? Didn't do much sleeping last night, but not because of this, because of the warthog. Holy moly. The reason we're talking about Ed Curry is that Ed Curry is not the man. Well, he's two different people, depending on how deep into the chili world you are. If you just found the chili world, then boy, he's on a pedestal. When I first started my career in this as a YouTuber, oh man, I thought he was just the most amazing thing in the world. In fact, the first contact, I was a huge fan. I said enormous in capitals. And he accepted my friendship. And I'm telling you, it was really weird. The first several months, it was brother this, brother that, when I prayed for you. And he just really appeared. He came off as a really great dude. And then over time, things really began to change. They really did. He just changed dramatically. So I did. There have been trolls. Trolls are a part of a YouTuber's life. Before I was a YouTuber, if I had people that hated me, I did. But I could tell you why. Every single time there was a reason. I go, oh yeah, I can tell you why I did something I shouldn't. And I knew why they hated me. And it was a very strange phenomenon going from that to this, and all of a sudden having people hate you for no apparent reason whatsoever. And it's weird too, because it's not just hey, I don't like you. It's like when your dad dies, I'm going to celebrate kind of a hate. It's really weird. It doesn't even make sense to me. So anyway, trolls are going to be a part of YouTube and any social media platform. It's just the way it works. Now, one thing, trolls have some things in common. I don't have any people that troll me that, to my knowledge, I don't look at them anymore really. Every once in a blue moon I'll hear something, or I'll see something that's funny. I did a short the other day, and somebody made a short with me with a tinfoil hat. It was hilarious. I didn't watch it, but the thumbnail was funny. But here's what trolls have in common. I don't have a single person who's trolling me who is a viewer, who is home and watching a video once and went, ooh, I don't like that. So I'm going to spend the next 3 years attacking him every day. That's not what a normal person does. So what a troll does is this. I can just tell you in my case, okay? All the trolls in my case at one point were fans of the show. Every one of them. I can show you, if I pulled their names up, I could show you the last messages that we had on Messenger. I sang happy birthday to some of their children. I was super friendly to all of them. And then what happens is this. One of the things that it's benefited me in life and it's hurt me in life. Whatever I seem to do, I seem to make it look easy. It's never easy, but I think from the outside looking in, it appears that it is. So I think that a lot of people, a lot of these trolls that are now trolls, I once were fans. And they said, if you can do it, I can do it. And I was really encouraging. They would tell me, hey, I'm going to start a channel. I was super encouraging. I used to say to them, the pie's big. And the pie gets bigger every day, so there's plenty of room for everybody. And then what would happen is they would realize that it wasn't as easy as they thought. They didn't have the skill to do it. And they failed. And when a wannabe YouTuber fails, instead of just going back to their Joe job and saying, oh, well, it didn't work, they need to sit in front of a camera like this. They have to. It's a compulsion. So what happens is they just, what it is? It's like a maladjusted child, a child that wasn't reared properly, that can't really differentiate good, attention from bad attention. So rather than no attention, because that's horrible, they'll take the bad attention. And that is what's kind of driving what this is all about. Now, I said I'll never mention the trolls by name because they're insignificant fleas. They matter not. They're insignificant. Like I said, sometimes I find them amusing. But I will name Ed, because Ed, and it's weird, it's not paying like flicking out money. There you go troll Johnny. He's not paying them that way, but he's paying them with product from Puckerbutt. Now, the way I know this is there are videos with Ed in it saying so. Tom Petropoulos saying so. Actually, Tom just says, you're putting the truth out there, meaning about me. And every single thing they say about me is a lie. And I don't really care. I really don't. I don't care what the trolls say about me. But the trolls are going after women. Imagine that. Ed Curry, with product, is paying trolls to cyberbully women. So that's a problem, because here's the thing. You know, when I first met Ed, who was I talking to the other day? You ever watch an old cowboy movie? Like the good guy rides in on the white horse and wears the white hat, you know? The bad guy rides in on the black horse with the black hat. When I met Ed, he had a beautiful white horse, beautiful white hat. He was a kind man. And then over time, he traded that horse in for a black one and that hat for a black hat. And he is proud of it now. And there's a video where he is proud of it. He is proud that he's doing what he's doing. So I have a problem with that, because I think people should know about it. I think people should know about that. So had he not been paying people to troll me, I wouldn't even brought his name up. But he's doing it. I've seen the video. So I made a video a week ago. I'm no longer going to shy away from issues like this. Early on, when the channel was really small, I was scared to death. I was Switzerland. Wasn't going to take a side either way, because I just want to, get along to go along, or go along to get along, whatever. I wasn't going to rock the boat. The channel's pretty big right now. I'm a pretty well-liked person. You know what's really funny? I'm liked by almost everybody in the chili community. The producer, the chili producers, the viewers. You know who doesn't like me? Here's the thing. When you tell the truth, people that lie don't like people that tell the truth. And people that tell the truth often become enemies and targets of those who can't or won't tell the truth. Because they can, they just don't like to. So I made a video a while back and I talked about that. And I am barely brushing the surface. I don't know how many I've got here, but I'm barely brushing the surface. Some of them are really horrific. Some of them, I'm going to read one of the nicer ones first. I'll read one of them. I actually only have one nice one. And the rest aren't so nice. But this is, I'll just give one of the names. Luker. All right? And this is what Luker says. Johnny, you're a good man. Oh, I said I'm a pepper nerd. I'm a pepper nerd. But anyway, this is what he says. Johnny, you're a good man, and you're not a pepper nerd. You're a pepper connoisseur. And you're not just a part of the pepper community, you're an ambassador for it. I have always had a love for peppers, and I've always wanted to get into eating ultra hot peppers. But this overblown fear always pervaded. Earlier in the season, I purchased several plants from a local nursery. And I managed to get several ghost pepper plants, scorpions, and even some reapers. Sadly, the deer ate my reapers and scorpions. They're like hot stuff. About 3 days ago, I ate part of my first ever Ultra Hot. The ghost, and man, it lit me up like a furnace. I was sweating and turned into 2 different shades of red. So today a local farmer's market opened up, and I managed to get my hands on some Carolina Reapers. I was scared to death, but I'd been wanting to try one with all the fanfare that it gets. And I'll be perfectly honest, it wasn't anything worse than the ghost pepper. And that could be its varying, because sometimes peppers do that. Anyway, he goes on to say the heat was more pronounced in the back of my throat, which is very reaperish. And I noticed more heat on my gums, but that pepper had been blown out of proportion. And you have told the truth about it. I watched your video yesterday. This is his response to the first video I made. I haven't properly watched today's, but I can tell the attitude towards EC. Now, he didn't spell out Ed Curry's name. He just used his initials in air quotes. Not air quotes, actual quotes. These are air quotes, but he used quotes. And what he says is the attitude towards him, towards Ed Curry, has been changing in the chili community. And I can see why. I recently watched a video where he was using the F word and then saying his pastor was going to kill him in the same sentence. I don't even know what to say about that. Why in the world would anybody do that? One thing that needs to be said, you handled your story on him with grace and dignity, and you just told the truth. He has contributed to the pepper scene, but telling abject lies and acting different ways around different people is just, it makes no sense to me. You're a super classy guy, Johnny, and a stand-up one. You'll forever be an ambassador for the pepper community and a cornerstone in it. Keep chasing the heat. All right, now the reason I read that is because it's something that I've also noticed. Here's why. Before I did the very first video about Ed, I thought about it for a long time. And I thought, you know what, if he's gonna be attacking women, and he's not, it's a proxy war. He's not attacking women. He's paying scumbags to attack women. Failed YouTubers to attack women. So what I did was I went back through Messenger, because I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I went through my Messenger and scrolled all the way to the top. And I couldn't believe the tone and the way he spoke with me. He was so kind in every single exchange, every single one of them. And then something happened over time. And I think what will happen over time is that I said the truth. Like in the very, very first year of Chase the Heat, I ate pods that were hotter than the Reaper. And he didn't like it. In fact, one day, I woke up in the morning and he said, I got a voice message or a text message on my messenger. He said, I'm not going to show it to you because it's sleazy to do that, but I'll tell you the gist of it. He said, I'm very disappointed to hear how you talk about us. Now, I never talk about Ed then. All I said was the pepper's hot. It's listed as the hottest by a book, but I've eaten pods that are hotter. You need to know that. So it brings up an interesting point. It brings up the question from Susie. Now Susie said, the beef between you two seems personal. Did something happen between the two of you that we don't know about? Right? And that's the question. And I want to explain to you what's happened. Here's what's happened. And it sort of had already begun when I got into the chili world. So I don't know when this actually started to take place. But when I first got into the chili world, and you as I tell you, think about it in your head and tell me if this makes sense to you. We've come to a place in time, in the chili world, where if I say a certain pepper, you don't think about the pepper. You think about the person who made the pepper. If I say 7-Pot Primo, a lot of you are going to think Troy Primo. If I say Carolina Reaper, boy, you're all going to think Ed Curry. And that's a problem because here's what occurred, okay? Let me explain to you why we went south. When I said there are hotter peppers out there, people that are loyal to Ed interpreted that like I was saying something bad about his family or his wife or his kids or something. And that message he left that morning, I can't believe the way you talked about us. I'm like, us? Us? What are you talking about? I didn't say anything about us. I talked about your pepper. You know what I mean? And so we've got, and what happens in that kind of a scenario where people start looking at a pepper as a person is that's when tribal behavior starts rearing its ugly head. You know what I mean? I don't know, I wish I had a better word for it. It's tribal. It's like you say something and you're going to have a gang of people. Like it's a gang. Like they take it personally. And that to me, that's a sign of mental illness. Excuse me. So, Susie, I don't have a beef. There's no personal beef with. I think there may be a personal beef. I think he feels, I don't know, I'm not a psychologist, but I think Ed takes it personally when you say something about his pepper. I really do. I think he does. So when I started making videos telling the truth, is when our relationship began to decline. But no, we don't. There is absolutely no other than I don't have a personal beef. I wonder if I do. I guess I kind of do. The fact that he's going after women, paying to go after women, is about. My dad raised me that you never put your hands on a woman, ever. My ex-wife punched me in the face once when we were driving on the highway. Punched me in the face. I'm going like 65 or 70 miles an hour, and she belted me in the face while I was driving in the car where she was a passenger. Anyway, there's no beef personally, other than the fact that I think he's a coward. You know, and when he's lied to me. Okay, I'm going to go on. Okay, here's one from Franklin. Franklin says, so what? He lied to you about his sobriety date. It's not the end of the world. These are quotes. It's not the end of the world. How much, I can't read my writing. How much did it damage you, meaning me? You even said that it helped you. Fair enough. So let me address that. The day that, if this is new and you didn't hear, I was 3 days sober, okay? And I was excited about it. And I had already said that there were peppers hotter than the Carolina Reaper. So there was already a bit of, the beginnings of our relationship doing this had already begun. And I saw him at the New York City Hot Sauce Expo. I was 3 days sober, but I was excited about it. The way I do anything is the way I do everything. I really do. If you know me, it's kind of how I operate. So I was excited about my sobriety. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for another day. I couldn't wait to, I was excited about it. And that's the way I went into my sobriety. So when I saw Ed, I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, Ed." He shook my hand, and he was very polite. Very, very polite. People are around. He has to be. I don't think he likes me, but he has to pretend he does in public because most people like me. And if you trash me in public, you're going to have some people upset with you. So I think he had to be nice to me. But I said to him, I pulled out my phone. And I have this. It's called I Am Sober it's really a cool thing. It shows you the time, hours, months, years, months, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Here's how many days you are: 5 months, or 5 years, 4 months, and 14 days. This is how many days in a row. This is the day I started. And this, shockingly enough, is how much money I've saved from not drinking. I bought a few guitars. Anyway, I walked up to Ed and I said, Ed, I'm sober. I quit drinking. And he was really cool. He said, oh, hey, congratulations. He was really nice about it. And here's what Franklin is addressing. He said, we talked for a few more minutes. And he said, you know something? I want to tell you something, Johnny. And he said, you're 3 days sober. Today I'm 30 years sober, but my next 24-hour block of time is the exact same as yours. And in the moment, for a guy who's only 72 hours sober, I can't begin to tell you how lifting that was. You know, it was. It changed my weekend. It changed my outlook. In fact, I waited a year until I told the channel that I was sober, because I didn't want people to say, oh yeah, you know, give us a year, then we'll believe you. So I waited a year, and then I announced that I was sober, and I kind of confessed to everybody that I had been a drunk and abused things. And at any rate, what happened then, out of like every single day, somebody will tell me that they don't drink as much or they quit drinking, and I was the inspiration. I didn't mean to be. I never meant to be. When I said I'm sober, I didn't say I'm sober and you should check yourself, look in the mirror today when you go home. I didn't do that. I said, hey, I'm sober. For me, I made a difference. I'm doing it for my family, for me, for my loved ones, for you, so I can make better videos. And it was encouraging. And I said to the first video, he encouraged me. When you encourage, the word encourage means to give somebody courage. And that day, he gave me a phenomenal amount of courage. It was beautiful. So much, in fact, that after the year I announced it, out of the woodwork, every day people would email me. I'm not exaggerating, every day. I got a couple yesterday. Every day somebody emails me about sobriety. And I always help them. And you know what? I always tell them the story. I say, you know, Ed, I want to tell you a story that I heard from Ed Curry. I was in the New York City Hot Sauce Expo, and I tell the story. And I encourage them. I give them courage, right? So fast forward 2 years and 7 months. I'm at Blazing Foods, sitting in my office. David Floyd, my business partner, I have a big office we share. I just got there. I opened up my laptop, and I'm going through, and I went on Facebook. And I saw a post from Ed on Facebook. Now, if this was something in a DM, a direct message, or a private message, I would not be announcing it, because that's Bush League. I wouldn't do that. Scuzzy people do that. But this was on Facebook, so it's public knowledge. He said, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for I can't remember the exact, I can show it to you. Here, I'll show you. This, I don't mind showing you this, because I hope I still have it, or did I delete it? No, I didn't. All right, let me do it this way. This is 2.7 years after he told me that he was 30 years sober. So if you do the math, 30 plus 2.7, he's on the cusp of being 33 years sober, right? We follow the math? And this was his post. After that 23 years should be 33 years. So he lied to me about his sobriety date. Now, I got, of all of the hate that I got from that last video, that was the biggest one. So Franklin said, why does it matter? You even said it helped you. He did. And in fact, listen, it impacted me so much that until that day, anytime somebody would talk to me about sobriety, I would say that line to them. I still say the line, I just don't say it came from Ed. But I would say I got this from Ed Curry, because Ed Curry's he was a pillar, right? And I would say that, he told me this. And then when I found that day, I looked over at Foy. I said, David, come here. And he wheeled his chair over. I said, remember me telling you about, Ed telling me on my third day of sobriety? He was like, yeah, my best friend, he knows. I came back and told him. I said, that was 3 years ago. He was 30 years sober 3 years ago. So how sober should he be now? You don't need to be a mathematician. It's 33 years. But that post says he's 23. So he said, what's the harm? And I even said, there's the end justifies the means, maybe. He did encourage me incredibly. In fact, I promise you, people are going to hear this, see this video, and trickle in and start saying, yep, I remember that story. I remember you telling me that, because it gave me courage. And I wanted to do the same for others. So he says, what's the big deal? You even said it helped you. Franklin, it did help me. But let me share with you the big deal. It's an indication of a man's character. He also says, famously, that God saved him from the bondage of nicotine addiction. Yet 1 year ago, I don't know if it was in Kentucky or Tennessee, but there was a hot sauce festival. And I have the picture on my phone. I won't show it to you. But it was on Facebook. I could show it to you, actually. It would take me a while to find it. It was on Facebook because he wasn't watching his back, and he had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. So he's lied about his sobriety date. And here's the thing, a bunch of people that attacked me for that. I said, are you in recovery? No. No kidding. Tell somebody who's in recovery that somebody you looked up to lied about their sobriety date by 10 years. See how they feel about that. They'll feel it personally. Especially if that person gave me courage and lied to me about it. So anyway, so Franklin wants to know what's the big deal. So he's lied about his smoking. He's lied about his sobriety. Let's talk about Pepper X for a minute. Pepper X is 2.63 million Scoville units. It blew the old record away by 1 million. Wrap your head around that. It's huge. Now, what they did was they made a bottle of hot sauce called the Last Dab Experience. 91% of it, actually if you read the bottle, over 91% of a 5-ounce bottle of sauce was Pepper X. A couple different forms of it. Pepper X powder, Pepper X mash, and Pepper X distillate. Distillate is a churched up word to say extract, okay? So it should be really, really hot. If 91%, now listen, just so you know, you want to do a little math, 91% of 5 ounces is 4.5 ounces. Pretend this is a 5-ounce bottle. 4.5 ounces would go to here. It doesn't matter what ingredient you go to here with. For the last 5%, there is no ingredient you can put in there that would change the sauce that much. I'm not good at math. I wear toe shoes with the fingers so I can count to 20, and I don't have to take my shoes off. But listen to this math, okay? I got this from a sauce expert. With 91% of a 5-ounce bottle, doesn't matter what you put in for that last half of an ounce, the sauce could not be lower than 2.39 million, and it could be as high as 2.43, okay? I didn't buy the sauce. Somebody bought the sauce and sent it to me, and I did a review of it, and I was shocked. Tommy, my brother, was with me. He's not a chili head, but he agreed to do it, and he was nervous. Well, I took the spoonful of it, and I was like, got nothing to be worried about. Try it. And it was hot for him, but not that hot. And he's not a chili head. It was just not that hot. And I said, the taste isn't bad. The other thing is there's some sort of flavor. There's some sort of spice in there. It's not listed on the, I don't know what it is. I can't, Nigel Carter could probably tell me. He's got a great palate. But there's something in that sauce that's not listed on the label. At any rate, I got so much heat from his followers that I decided I was going to do something about it. So I bought 2 bottles, and I didn't buy them in myself and then send them off, because somebody could always say, Scoville adulterated the bottle and, whatever. I bought it on Amazon, and Amazon shipped it directly to the 2 different labs. One of the labs came back, I don't remember the exact number, I think it was 60,060 or something like that. Under 61,000 Scoville units. He is on video. Just like he's on video saying that trolls can have whatever they want for free, he was on a video saying that this sauce is over 2.4 million. All right? The second lab came back, and it was better. I'll give him that. The second lab was higher. It wasn't 60,060, it was 61,000. Now, that is 2.97% as hot as it is supposed to be. Wrap your head around that. It was less than 3% as hot as he claimed it is on video. And he sold the bottle for almost $30. Now they've dropped the price a little bit, but initially it was about 30 bucks. So my thought is this: do you know how many bottles they sold? I don't, but I bet they sold a lot. I did read that they sold the first 1,000 bottles in 2 minutes. I read that online. Now, since those people paid $30 initially, 2.97% of $30 is 77 cents. That's what that bottle of sauce is worth. That's what they should have paid. And they should start a class action lawsuit, because that was criminal what he did. So when Franklin says, what's the big deal about him lying about his sobriety? That's the big deal. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, and it's a duck. Ed has a problem with the truth. For instance, the creation of the Carolina Reaper. He has given three different times he's talked about what he used to make it happen. 3 different times. Each time he cited different peppers as the parents. Now, he would tell you that's just to throw people off, but I would tell you that when you lie all the time, it's hard to keep those lies straight. Anyway, so Franklin, that's why him lying about his sobriety is a big deal. Okay, Marcus. This is an interesting one. Marcus says, longtime viewer of yours. Hang on. Marcus says, longtime viewer of yours. Could this be a case of jealousy on my part? Because it seems like that to me, is what Marcus says. I wish he would have given an example of what he thinks I'm jealous of. I'm not a man. I'm not a man. I'm a minimalist. I swear. Anybody that knows me will tell you that I'm a minimalist. I'm not into things. I went through a stage of life where I thought the best things in life were things. And then, thank the Lord, something happened to me, and I realized that the best things in life aren't things at all. What I value the most in life is relationships, bonds with people, connections. That's what I appreciate the most. So, what am I jealous of? He's hemorrhaging respect because of what's happened with Pepper X, with what's happened with the Last Ab experience. He's hemorrhaging respect. Would I be jealous of that? No, I don't know what, Marcus, you're seeing. I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm not jealous of that. Sandy says, I like your show, and I've watched it for a long time. Attacking Ed about his sobriety makes you look petty, and it's not a good look for you. I think you missed the point, Sandy, and I appreciate your comment. I'm not mad about Ed. I'm not attacking him about his sobriety. I'm troubled by the fact that he's a dishonest man, because it carries over. Remember when you're a kid, you tell a lie? What'd your parents tell you? Listen, when you tell a lie, you know what you have to do? Finish it. You got to tell another lie to cover up that lie, right? Well, when you do that all the time, let me put it this way. I said this before. I was a terrible drug addict. You name the drug, I was addicted to it or I abused it for a long time. I thank the Lord I saw the light and I'm clean and sober. But do you want to know something? When I was using, there isn't a person on the planet who lied more than I did. I lied to everybody. Horrible. I feel so bad about it. Bothers me daily. I lied. And the reason people in addiction lie is they have to keep that addiction going. So, now that I'm sober, I'm clean and sober, like I have kids. My kids are old enough now where they don't really lie to me anymore. But when kids are little, they lie. It's part of the process of growing up and learning and how to becoming a decent person and learning principles that you need, values. But you learn them by making mistakes. So when the little kid lies to you, I see it as an opportunity for growth and instruction, right? When a grown man lies to you, and then he lies again, he's lied to my face on more than one occasion. Coming from a guy that used to be a drug addict and lied to everybody, when I meet a man who claims he's sober and he lies a lot, what do you think my first thought is? My first thought is, well, I know he smokes. He says he doesn't. Maybe he still drinks too. I'm not attacking his sobriety. I'm attacking the fact that he's a dishonest man. So you missed the point there, Sandy. But thank you for writing it. This one is David. Oh, this is an interesting one. I'll save this one for just a minute. Robert says, do you hate Ed? Because it seems like you do. Why does he hate you? Because it seems like he does. I don't hate Ed. I don't. I hate the things he does. I hate the fact that he is paying people to attack a woman. As men, my dad taught me, you know how many times I got suspended at school for getting into a fight because somebody said the wrong thing to my sister? I was raised to protect women. I certainly wasn't raised to abuse them. And the women that he is abusing, it's a proxy war. He's not doing it himself. He's paying somebody else to do it. And the people that he's paying to do it are loving it and they're reveling in it. But I know those women. They're friends of mine. So I have a problem with that. But do I hate Ed? No, I hate things he does. I don't hate anybody. I don't have hate in my heart for anybody. You know what? I say this a lot. This may sound funny. I don't hold grudges. I forgive people before you don't have to ask for forgiveness for me to be forgiven. You want to know why? Because if I don't forgive you, I carry that around in my head. And I'm too selfish to do that. I'm not going to ever let something stay in my head. So I forgive. And when I forgive, it's gone. So I don't like the things that Ed does, but I certainly don't hate him. Now, does Ed hate me? I don't know. I don't know what's on his heart. I sure get the feeling he doesn't like me. Here's the thing. What people that lie don't really like people that tell the truth. And I tell the truth. And the funny thing is, I didn't bash every single sauce. Gator, one of his Gator sauces, I really liked a lot. And most of the videos I did for his products are sparkling because he makes some great products. But does he hate me? You'd have to ask him. I don't know, Robert. Craig says the same thing. Craig says, you hate Ed. How else can it be interpreted? You've been dumping on his reapers for years. You tried to take him down for, that's what his words were. You tried to take him down for the last dab experience. I didn't try to take him down, and I didn't. Here's the thing. Honest to goodness, year 1 of my channel, I ate peppers that were hotter than Reapers. Season 2 I did, season 3, we're in season 8. And we are in a day and age now where there are lots of peppers that are as hot or hotter than a Reaper. That's just the way it is. So, Craig, I want to explain something to you. As a reviewer, do you think I am here? What is my primary duty? Where does my allegiance lie? Does my allegiance lie with the producers of these products? No, I'm not here just to help people sell stuff. I'm not driven by money. I don't get paid for that. I've never been paid for a review ever, and people have tried. You know where my allegiance lies? With you. Do you know how many times people have said, man, I was going to go buy a bottle of sauce. I went to your site first to see, because I knew for sure you must have reviewed it. I'm here for you. I'm an advocate for the consumer, for the viewer. So that's, when he's, let me tell you something funny. When did well, first of all, the last app experience was a joke. And here's the funny thing. He's screwing over the chili community, but here's the thing. Only the older, seasoned chili heads know it. And some of those older, seasoned chili heads have some sort of they get something out of that relationship, monetarily or something. And even though they know who he is, they hang there for that. And that's reprehensible. And I know who they are. It's terrible. What else was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, when the Pepper X came out, I want to tell you something. What did it come out, a year ago? Up until a year ago, everybody in the pucker butt camp was still saying that the Carolina Reaper was the hottest pepper, when there are a dozen peppers that are hotter. But they would insist that it's the Carolina Reaper, still the record holder, until the day that Pepper X took over. And that is an outright, this is our opinion, that's a lie. That is a lie. And it's just another indication that he has a difficult time telling the truth, And that's why he's like if he's, anyway. The next one is this. You said Ed is paying trolls and that you have a video. I don't believe you. Show it, says Michael. And I'm afraid to, because even though it's public, I think it's still online. My hand to God, I have it, and a lot of people have seen it. Tom Petropoulos says, love you for putting out the truth, putting it out there. And they're talking about me, about making videos about me. And Ned Curry says, I'm not going to say the troll's name because he's an insignificant gnat. And he's a failure. But he says that person's name and says he can have anything he wants. That's what Ed says, with a smile on his face. I'm going to look into it. Maybe I'll talk to some legal counsel and see if it's okay that I post, if I show you that video. If I find that, I just don't want, he's a litigious man, and I don't really feel like being sued because of that. So I'm going to find out if it's cool for me to do that. If it is, I'll show you, I promise. All right. Two more interesting ones, and then we're going to wrap it up. One is from Dave, and this one actually is fascinating. Okay, Dave says this. You were judging Ed and Tom about the commitment they have to their faith, whether they're Christians or not. Johnny, you say that you're a Christian. You're not supposed to judge others. And that's what Dave says. Now, I'm not a guy I have the Bible app on my phone, but I'm not like throwing verses at people in scripture and people. I'm not that guy. However, let me read something to you. And this comes from, oh no, forgot to write down the verse. Hang on a minute. It's John chapter 13 through 19. John chapter 13 through 19 is the verse. I remembered that. Here's what it says. Are you ready? Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. And here's how you will know. All right? Pay attention. This is God instructing us. You'll know them by their fruits. Okay? Are grapes gathered at thorn bushes? Are figs at thistles? So every good tree bears good fruit, and a bad tree bears bad fruit. Therefore, you will know them by their fruits. So as Christians, we are called to look at somebody. If somebody says, I'm a Christian, we're supposed to evaluate them, say, okay, do I see fruit in their lives? I am sure somewhere in Ed's life there is fruit. But what I see, it's rotten fruit. I see a man who's paying to have women attacked for their faith too. Attacks one of them because of her religious beliefs. I don't see any good fruit. I see him lying on the regular. Tom Petropoulos lied to me. I told him that there were some things going on, and he said there weren't. It's a sad thing, but I don't see fruit. Now, you need to look at me and see if there's fruit in my life. If there's bad things going on in my life, I need to address it. But you also have to look and see if there's any good fruit. Do you see good fruit about Johnny Scoville? Don't tell me. I'm not looking for a slap on the back. I'm just telling you that the Bible, for Christians, tells us if someone says they're a Christian, look for the fruit. If there's fruit, you can believe them. You'll know them by their fruit. So, Dave, that's why I said that. And the last one I'm going to read is Luenda, because this was an interesting one. This was really interesting. Are you ready for this? And I think it's Luenda. I think that's how she says it. To me, it appears that you and Ed are in a feud. Let me do it this way so I can make it bigger. My eyes. To me, it appears that you and Ed are in a feud. She's misspelled. I'm an observer, and I have a solution. So Luenda has a solution for the feud that apparently Ed and I are in. I don't have a feud with Ed. I just don't like his behavior, and it's reprehensible. He's a reprobate for attacking women. I mean, there's no excuse for that at all. Anyway, here's how Ed, this is Luenda talking. Here's how Ed should see it. You, meaning me, I have 144,000 subscribers. I'm loved by most. I have a huge reach. You might be the most respected person in the community, both to producers and to your followers. Because of the HBO series and HBO, she meant Hulu. Because of the HBO series and Disney series you are in, and the respect and weight that you carry, Ed has more to worry about you than you do about him. I don't worry about Ed, by the way. This is what she goes on to say. There are less than a dozen trolls. All the views, there's probably more than that, but all the views they get are just from each other. They aren't hurting you at all, but your reach with a lot more people in one afternoon than they'll collectively have in 2 months. And Ed is paying those trolls, and he's in control. So here's what I would tell you. I'm not looking to. All I'm doing is throwing a spotlight. My dad told me that one of the best cleansers in the world is light. So I'm throwing light on something filthy and dirty. And as far as the trolls, I want to tell you something really funny. I've started to keep a Mark, when somebody, I'm a marketing guy, was in marketing for a long time. So when someone says, hey, I just found your channel, I always say, hey, how'd you find it? Because I want to know what's working and what's not working. Do you follow me? If they say, I saw a short, I need to make more shorts. If they say, hey, somebody told me about that, not much I can do about that, but I want to know where they heard about me, right? So every time somebody says that they're a new follower, I say, where'd you hear about me? Do you know that every single week, I started keeping a tick sheet. I have over 7, and I've only been doing it for probably a week. So maybe one a day, but sometimes it's more. I have 7 since I've started doing it. It's been going on for a long time because these trolls have been trolling me for 4 years now. Every week I get somebody who says, hey, I'm a new follower. I say, how'd you hear about me? I saw this terrible video that somebody was saying stuff about you, and I needed to come over and find out who you were and see what you were about. And boy, they were liars. You're not what they say you are. So I want the trolls, they're built, first of all, the trolls never miss a video. They'll watch this video twice, I promise you. They will, so I'll get views out of them, it's wonderful. But they're the most ridiculous, they make, some of them are very funny. Like the one with the tinfoil hat on me, I laugh my head off. I've never watched one. I always see thumbnails if it comes across on a video on YouTube. And the tinfoil hat was hilarious. But just about every day, somebody will come to me and say, yeah, I stumbled upon this guy that's making videos, and they said something terrible about you and your brother. And they're on the boat now, and they're on the bus. So the trolls are, if my channel is in the top 1% of all YouTube channels. There's 64,500,000. If you got rid of 99% of them, I'm still there. The channel is doing really well. And I owe a big part of it to the trolls because they never, ever miss a video. And I get new subscribers every single week because of the videos they make. And I said this in the last video. My brother and I are about to release a book. And it's a redemption kind of a story. And you know what a redemption story is? It means there's a payoff at the end. Redemption means somebody had remorse, regret for things they've done. So they make a change, all right? I'm not the person today I was 20 years ago. Tommy is not the person today he was 20 years ago. So in this book, here's what the trolls are gonna do. I can't wait. They're gonna take individual sentences out of the book, and they're gonna, with no context. So if you have a sentence with no context, you can make somebody look really bad. And they're gonna post them on social media in an attempt to make me look bad. Do you know what it's gonna do? Because right now, I get new subscribers. They may watch some videos, they may not, who knows. But do you know how many books they're gonna end up selling for me and Tommy? So really, this is the truth of it. The trolls are my biggest fans. I almost feel bad for them because I live in their head 24/7. You hear the expression, you live rent-free in somebody's head? I'm the first thing they think about when they wake up. I'm the last thing they think about before they go to bed. One of them will make a movie, and they all follow suit, and all they do is watch their own movies. It's hilarious. So anyway, that's the recap of that we talked about with Ed. I don't hate Ed. I hate that Ed is attacking women. I'm gonna find out. I'll show you. I won't play it for you, but I'll show you the video. Where is it? Give me just a moment. Oh, it's right. Give me just a moment. There. All right. Here's a frame phrase. That's a frame screen grab of it. There's Ed. there's Tom Petropoulos right there. It's hard to see because there's a downward thumb covering his face. But in 2 seconds, Ed tells the troll, you can have anything you want in that video. So I've got to figure out if it's legal for me to show that. It's certainly not a problem for me to show you the thumbnail, but if I get, if a lawyer says, you got nothing to worry about, I'm going to play that for you because I want you to hear Ed. The Ed that I met 7 years ago, 8 years ago, wouldn't say damn it, let alone an F-bomb. And now he's doing it in videos in front of people. So here's where the crazy part of this video is. And I want everybody to you're gonna have to drink some Kool-Aid here. There are a lot of people that watch this channel that are believers, that are Christians. And I don't judge if you are or you're not. If you're not, it's okay. But there are a lot of people that pray. And there are a lot of people that don't pray, but they give positive vibrations and positive feelings and sending out good vibes, you know what I mean? Into the universe, whatever. Here's a challenge. I want everybody that's watching this, I want to give you a challenge. And this is something that I started doing a month ago, a month and a half ago. I was in a church service with Tad and Kit, and the pastor was talking about praying for your enemies. And it was hilarious because he sat there and he said, if you're on social media and someone's going after you, you should pray for them too. I was like, it was almost like he said, hey, this service is for Johnny. You all welcome, but I'm really only talking to Johnny today. And the pastor said, here's my challenge to you. If you've got an enemy in your life, start praying for him. Start praying for him and see what that does. And I was like, I'm going to pray for him. You know what I did? I took him up on the challenge. Here's what he said. He goes, do it for 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, if something good hasn't happened, go back to hating him. He was hilarious. He's a funny pastor. Anyway, so I started doing that. And here's what my end result was. Are you ready for this? I found such a peace, such a sense of peace for praying for these guys. And you know, I've been a believer all my life, and there have been times where I would pray for somebody and I would say, like, God, please heal their black, terrible heart. A prayer like that. Now I don't. I pray for prosperity for them. I pray that if they're married, that their marriage is going to be strengthened and their kids are going to be great students and loving and well-adjusted. I pray their businesses will be successful. And I can't begin to tell you the peace that brings me. Try it. So here's my challenge to everybody that's watching this. If you don't pray, I don't care. Send good vibes. Send positive feelings. Whatever you got to do. But I want all of us to pray for these guys. Pray for the trolls. You don't need to know for them by name because God, the universe, He does. He knows. Pray for Ed. Just pray that good things will come to them. Because two things are going to occur. Are you ready? Number one, I promise you, you'll have the peace that I have. It's an amazing thing. You won't believe it. It'll be like, you won't believe it. It's the strangest thing in the world. I pray for him every day. And it's like the coolest part of my prayer time. It sounds hokey, but it's the truth. I'm putting it out here, people, right? The other byproduct is this. Let's say that prayers are answered or the positive feelings are answered. And their lives are changed and great things begin to happen to them. You know what they're less likely to be doing? Trolling. So it's a win-win. You can't lose. So that's my challenge to all of you. I'm going to give you the challenge that this pastor gave me about a month and a half ago. What's today's date, people? Today's date is August 25th. For 1 month, I want you to pray or send vibes or good feelings or just good wishes, good thoughts to Ed, his family, his children, to the trolls, to their families and kids, their jobs. Do it. Do it for 30 days. At the end of those 30 days, if you don't think it was a good thing, go back to hating them. There's no room for hate in my life for anybody or anything. But I'm telling you, it changed my life. It did. It's like an attitude of gratitude. If you have an attitude of gratitude, you're not woeful for things you don't have. I got news for you. I don't want the things that I don't have. I don't want the stuff that I don't have. But peace, boy, I want a lot of that. I'm telling you right now, take my challenge and do that, and you'll be stunned at the results. So there's my, what was the name of this thumbnail of this video? If you haven't seen it yet, I posted it yesterday. I threw a picture up. Revisiting the Ed Curry video. When you see that, take it to heart. Take what I'm saying to heart. You have nothing to lose by trying, and I'm telling you, if you have the same experience that I have, it'll change your life for the better. And who doesn't need that? So we're going to end this right now. Thank you all for being here and listening. As always, this is, oh, by the way, let me show you. Hold on. Give me just a second, sorry. That is going to be the thumbnail. Anytime you see a black thumbnail with white lettering, that's a video that we're going to be discussing some controversial stuff, but only within the chili community. I'm not going to talk about world events or politics. I don't do that. But I'm certainly going to, I'm no longer going to be Switzerland. I'm no longer going to be the guy that sits back and does nothing. I have power in the chili community because people look up to me. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm respected. So there's something wrong with me if I sit back and I keep my mouth shut. The only thing needed for triumph what is that quote? All that's necessary for triumph to over evil is for good men to stand back and do nothing. I'm trying to be a good man, but I'm done standing back and doing nothing. Like my dad said, light is the best cleanser. So we're going to put some light on the crap going on. We are. And I'm praying for these people every day. Take my challenge. I watch to see what happens. I promise you I'm not wrong. But that's it for my video today. Thank you for hanging out with me. And boy, if you eat peppers, that warthog, holy moly, that is a different pepper. I don't know, holy moly, is that a different pepper? Thank you for hanging out with me. On the bottom, all the normal stuff. On top, the normal stuff. I love you. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat.